More trouble for the Revanth Reddy government in the controversy over clearing of trees in the nearly 400 acres of land adjoining the Hyderabad University. The apex court today took suo motu cognizance of the case and halted the culling of trees and clearing of land by the Telangana government in the land where there have been, remember, strong protests by students and opposition political parties. On the Supreme Court's orders, the Registrar of the Telangana High Court visited the site and filed a stern report to the apex court that trees have been cleared in 100 acres of land, following which the apex court made sharp observations and asked the Chief Secretary why was such an urgency to take up the activity. The court's observations and intervention come as an enormous embarrassment to the Telangana government, which has been defending its decision to clear the land to auction for developing IT park. So what's next in this case? What's become a fierce face-off in the state? Joining me this evening, my colleague Uma Sudhir. Also with us, Congress's Kumbam Srinivasa Reddy, Krishank Mane of the BRS, Rachana Reddy of the BJP. Uma, before I get to the political voices on the show, briefly give us a sense of the key questions raised by the apex court today.
So very scathing comments on the Telangana government by the Supreme Court. They, of course, suo motu took this up this morning after the amicus curiae brought it up. And I must say, they have said that no one is above law as far as cutting of the trees is concerned. And that was a direct attack on the Telangana government. Three things that they have said. What was the compelling hurry to clear this piece of land? Two, whether there was an environment impact assessment report that was done. Three, they also asked whether the necessary permissions were sought. The court also said that from the pictures, from the media inputs that we have got, it is very clear that it does happen to be a forest area. They have also pointed out that just in the month of March, on the 5th of March, in fact, the Supreme Court had said...
Right. We seem to have lost the connection with you there, Uma. We'll try and get back to you on that in a bit. But let me go to Kumbam Srinivasa Reddy. Sir, strong questions being raised by the Supreme Court. Does the Congress government in Telangana, the Telangana state government, find itself on the back foot as far as this issue is concerned? Isn't this an embarrassment?
Good evening, Veera. First of all, I would like to say that we all of us have to respect the Constitution and the courts here. Whatever the Supreme Court, which has taken up the matter suo motu today, has passed an order not to continue work on the site, and definitely government is definitely going to follow what the court has said. And as far as embarrassment is concerned, we'll have to wait because the matter is sub judice right now. We cannot talk much about the subject, as anything which is spoken right now might be a contempt of court again.
Okay, you're saying that that's an important point that you're making there, and I think it's important for all the panelists to remember that the matter is sub judice. I agree. But Krishank Mane, eventually, the initial stages of a case may not eventually be the way it comes out towards the end. Has there been enormous political focus on this case over really genuine environmental issues? Or do you really believe that this is a clear case of environmental protection?
100% it is a clear case of student activist, environmental activist, because let me tell you, the same Hyderabad Central University, earlier Rahul Gandhi ji also visited during Rohit Vemula movement. But this time, we BRS being opposition parties, we have voiced out outside, but we have not entered the premises because we did not want Congress to get a chance to put political color to this. And in fact, it all started with Sri Revanth Reddy calling the students foxes in the assembly, which actually flayed this entire issue. And later yesterday, the cabinet minister, Sri Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy, said that these are not students, they are all on payment protesting. And in fact, Sri Bhatti Vikramarka, who's the deputy chief minister, said that there is no forest, there is no wildlife. One thing is, I don't think this matter comes so much into sub judice because ultimately, after the public uproar in the entire nation, the amicus curiae and the Supreme Court, it reached out to that level. So definitely the concern is Congress, they continue to say that this is not forest, there is no wildlife, there is no deer. But now at least they should realize that it has become Congress government versus entire India, that even Supreme Court is also considering it as a forest. Definitely a learning lesson. And
Okay.
most importantly, Veera, after a weekday of entire work, people would like to relax on a weekend or celebrate in festival. But in Telangana, it has become a threat because the Congress government here chooses the weekend to use their JCB drive, be it on demolition of houses or the same situation here on the
Okay.
trees. I think this has to be
Okay, before I
taken
get
very
to the
seriously.
BJP, Krishank, hold your thought there for a minute. You've raised an important question. Before I get to Rachna Reddy, I'll go back to the Congress spokesperson. Sir, let's not discuss about the matter that's in front of the apex court. Is there a sense, and there is, the accusation is that why the urgency for it? Why the urgency for this action, and why bulldoze through an action of this nature? Has that been something the Congress government should reconsider or at least introspect into?
Kindly understand one thing, there was no urgency in this matter. The land was handed over to the TGIAC. TGIAC has started work on that. And as all these people are saying, that Monday, Tuesday, every long weekend and Monday and Tuesday were holidays. Do you think 400 acres can be cleared in 4 days? It is not possible to clear 400 acres in 4 days. And definitely, if we have to clear that, probably we would have bought a few hundred more JCBs or bulldozers into the situation. But definitely when the ongoing development work is taking place and somebody is, corporation is doing it, the contractor definitely would start doing the work. And one more thing I would like to reiterate here, that environment protection has been the Congress's agenda, not from today, but from more than 50 years. 1972 Stockholm conference, where Mrs. Indira Gandhi was was the prime minister. She was only the prime minister who has attended that conference, and after that, all the Water Act, Air Act, and Environmental Acts which were brought in by the Congress itself. We are committed towards protection of the environment. There is absolutely unfound, baseless allegations which are being made. Whatever it is,
Rachna Reddy,
like
unfounded, baseless allegation for political reasons are being made, is the accusation the Congress is making.
Veera, Congress is the mother of all hypocrisies. I mean, because Congress party went to every court in the country. I mean, including all the NGTs in India during the erstwhile party's regime, trying to stop Kaleshwaram, trying to stop Kalamuru Rangareddy. I mean, using everything in the book, and rightly so, because all projects require environmental clearance, forest clearance, and clearance under the Wildlife Protection Act, which the erstwhile government did not have. Here, the Congress party is trying to give it the color of land litigation, that HCU is claiming land, etc., etc. The land litigation is an issue between the government and the university. Nobody cares about it at this point of time, but the Congress party and the Congress party's entire cabinet does not have a single word to say that this urban forest that ought to have been deemed to be a forest has at least 8 scheduled species that are in danger of extinction. There is research to it, and research not done for the purpose of this specific felling of trees or this specific clearing of Kanchagachboli. This is exactly what the Congress party does. It accuses other political parties of development at the expense of the human cost and animals and wildlife and environment, and does it exactly the same thing in their regime. What is the, you wanted to
the
sell
BJP,
land
BRS
to make
and the
money.
Congress have made their points very clear. Uma Sudhir. Uma Sudhir, just put this in perspective for us. Just put this in perspective, put the facts in perspective for this, as far as this context is, this debate, row is concerned.
One, the Congress spokesperson saying that there was no hurry. One cannot buy that argument because obviously it was done over the weekend. It was done hidden from the eyes of cameras, prying cameras anywhere at all. And even the Supreme Court expressed shock that more than 100 acres of that land had been cleared using 60 to 70 JCBs and 60 to 70 trucks which were carrying away all the cleared vegetation. So that is one thing. Second part of it is, while yes, it is true that there were the student unions that were backed by an ABVP, or they could have been an SFI or ISA, they were backed by political parties, but one must recognize that in democracies like ours, no struggle or protest can really be sustained unless they are backed by political parties with some kind of a support, financial or otherwise. The second part of it is, as a Hyderabadi and as a concerned citizen, I would say it is high time we learnt lessons from Delhi and elsewhere about the quality of the air that is happening and the quality of the environment, what we are doing to this environment. Every ruling party, and BRS is no exception, BJP may be no exception either, and the Congress now not an exception certainly, that they do sacrifice, pay an environment price or cost for in the name of development. And in this case, this was really a carbon sink for Gachibowli that we showcase as Manhattan of Hyderabad is what we call it. It's a concrete jungle. And if you don't even have this little carbon sink, which has been described by many experts as a biodiversity hotspot, and like Rachna was pointing out, with many precious species there, a self-sustaining forest area, actually much more precious, I'm told, that even the KBR Park, which is celebrated within the city and which incidentally was in a sense encroached upon, or its greenery was compromised by the RS government.
Right.
I think it's a good move by the Supreme Court and something that all of us citizens would welcome.
Okay, just a quick yes or no answer from all my three political panelists, starting with the Congress spokesperson. Will politics be kept aside and only purely the interests of the environment and the larger ecosystem be kept in mind as far as this project is concerned? Yes, no, maybe, starting with the Congress spokesperson, sir.
Definitely yes. Definitely yes.
We are
definitely going to...
Would you keep politics... Kishank, you've got to unmute yourself, Kishank, quickly.
Yeah, I've been a university student, so for me, university lands and environment, absolutely less. Yes, our priority is to fight to protect
and Rachna Reddy?
Absolutely, yes, but because politics cannot go above and beyond human cost and life cost at that point of time.
I only hope that they are not mere words and all three of you hold to the spirit of what you've said. But thanks very much. Thanks very much to all four of you for joining us here on the show.
We have to stay on this planet. So